Well, before we start, let me start this banner. Nothing, nobody, there's no free lunch in this world. So if you like this hoodie, you want to grab one, the link is below, all that good stuff. I don't know, where can people find you since people have to see
Listen, listen, go right to at the moment, you can go right to Instagram. This is TL Cross, and that's my kind of one stop for everything that I'm doing. You'll see me do something there called Wow TL Cross, where I say sometimes history is much better than fiction. And then I say this is one of those times that I go into a story. So
We're here with TL Cross to talk about House Party
yes.
and my desire to see it on 4K Blu-ray. I'm a big collector, as you see. Criterion, I need to get rid of this. And the only way I can do this is if there's a 4K Blu-ray re-release in time for its 35th anniversary. It's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you collect movies. Criterion is the upper echelon of Blu-ray releasers, and I believe because they put out Deep Cover and Menace to Society, which were new line cinema pictures from the early 90s, that they have a grasp on House Party. And this is the 35th anniversary. It's an important movie to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how important it is to you, but we're here to talk about House Party and what it means to us.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Very important to me. Yes, very cool, man. And it's very important to me. And I think that it's important to a lot of people. You know, it would be great. And I'm a huge advocate of hard copies. You know, I'm a huge advocate of the hard copy. So I'm here, man. Let's go.
So House Party, I'll go first. I mean, I've said this before. I mean, it's a movie. It changed my life in a lot of ways. You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, you know, but I went to New York University freshman year. You know, was 88 for me.
Okay.
Right. And this movie came out in 90. So I was there opening night for House Party. I saw it in New York. It came out actually, you know, as we speak, March 9th, 1990 was opening night of House Party, and I saw it in New York. And I was already, the bug had already bit me long before that. You know, I wanted to make films for a long time. Since I was 13, I wanted to make movies. And then when I was 17, She's Gotta Have It came out, 1987.
Okay.
And shortly after that, Hollywood Shuffle. And you know, those were movies that were, you know, seminal work for a lot of Black filmmakers. You know, said, hey, you know, they weren't going to wait for the system to endorse them. You know, House Party, I'm sorry, She's Gotta Have It. The message that Spike Lee carried with him was to demystify the process of making film. So he did something very low budget on a very short schedule, and I said, wow, I want to do that too. And that led me to NYU, you know, and I got in there and was studying film. And then this movie House Party comes out. And it literally changed the trajectory of my life in two ways. One, it showed me that I could tell stories from my own personal experience. Because what was I, like 18, 19 when that movie came out?
Yeah.
And I saw kids that looked like me. I was a big rap fan and all that stuff. I got to see Kid and Play star in a movie, and I said, wow, this is great. And then at the end of the movie, it had all the special thanks, and I stayed for all the credits, you know. It said special thanks Black Filmmaker Foundation, and instantly I was like, well, what is the Black Filmmaker Foundation? And I looked into it, and I found out about Warrington and Reggie Hudlin. And that semester I got became an intern there, and I learned so much. I got to see so many films and was indoctrinated through Reggie and Warrington and Monica Breckenridge, who ran it at the time, into this whole world of Black independent cinema. So it's an important film to me for that reason. And while I was working at Black Filmmaker Foundation, I got a chance to see the original House Party movie, which is something that most people have not seen or probably are aware that in 1983 they made a short film called
You
House
saw
Party
that.
that they later adapted.
You saw that.
Yeah, in the offices they had it on tape. Yeah, so I on my lunch break, I put that in. They had a whole drawer full of submissions and things. So I said, I got to see House Party. I got to see The Drive-By, the original movie by the Hughes brothers.
Mm.
That there in its entirety. And another one that stood out to me was, it's on YouTube. I think it's still on YouTube. Was a show called Moe's World,
Okay.
with Dion. I forget his last name. Bud from the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Dion Richmond.
Dion Richmond.
That was a really special show that should have gotten more play. It only made it as a pilot and didn't get any further. But those were standouts to me. And so, I posted on Instagram that I would want to see it on 4K, but it has to include the short film. And Reggie Hudlin, he co-signed on it. He said, yes, and so we've been in collaboration on Instagram to lobby for that. Music rights are a big issue. And, but I mean, House Party, in my estimation, it should be treated the same way. I mean, maybe not on the same level as Citizen Kane, but with the same level of respect that they give a movie like Citizen Kane.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, man. First of all, I am a huge House Party fan. I've only heard of the original, that was done, and I never knew anyone who saw it. So just the fact that you've seen that is like mind blowing to me. Wow. But I mean, I listen. It's a coming of age tale. I think House Party doesn't get the proper it's not the proper examination when it comes to some of the tropes and just some of the things that we've seen culturally in our story. Man, I mean, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Black fathers. I mean, Black fathers in film aren't always like the great Robin Harris. I mean, the brother went out there looking for his boy. Keep your mind on them books and off them girls. He's out there, just getting harassed by the police. He's showing up at parties. I mean, this is 1990, so I mean, anything could happen at a party. You storm into a party, anything can happen. But he was laying it all out there on the line. He really, if I remember correctly, he was waiting to hear back from his job to do overtime. You know what I'm saying? Like at night or whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he put the overtime to the side, or I don't know if they didn't call, but he was out there in the street looking for his boy. And that to me, sometimes it goes unnoticed how important the Black father is, that Black father story in this movie.
Right. Well, we're talking about Robin Harris's character, late great Robin Harris. And he, I mean, I'll just go off the top on Robin. I mean, I had a chance to see Robin Harris live at the Apollo with Chris Rock. There's tape of that somewhere. But it was like his East Coast debut, and he was drunk as a skunk. You could not understand a word he was saying. He was slurring so much, but he was talking about Bebe's Kids before, and this is before the HBO special dropped, so nobody knew what he was talking about. But it was a great show. And that was 89. 89 was a big year for Black movies in a lot of ways. Also, the year of Do the Right Thing, which Robin Harris appears as one of the cornermen. But yeah, Gone Too Soon. He was. You could argue that Bernie Mac took his career. Just the loss of Robin Harris opened the door for a Bernie Mac. Much in the same way that the loss of Biggie opened the door for a Jay-Z.
Now you bring up Bernie Mac, that connection, and it's funny because in the sequel to House Party we have Bernie Mac.
Exactly.
Right there, and I believe Robin Harris's character was supposed to be his uncle or his there was some relation, supposedly, you know, between Bernie Mac's
Right.
character and Robin Harris's character and that kind of thing. No, man, but you're 1,000% right. You know, my father talks about, you know, Robin Harris all the time. I loved Robin Harris. I loved him, and you mentioned Do the Right Thing. Another one you got to throw in there is Mo Better Blues. Mo Better
He's
Blues.
the
You know,
MC.
he was the MC in Mo Better Blues, man, and that was just he was hilarious. You know, his style of comedy, it really shone. It did really shine through here in this House Party film. I mean, like when you think about it, he says Bilal. You know, Bilal's on the phone. Bilal. He said, I don't know why they named that boy that African name, knowing they from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the types of things I would assume. My assumption is that some of what he said just really kind of came from his own sense of humor. You know, I mean, it is a comedy, so I'm sure many of these things are written, but you want to leave some room for a person like Robin Harris to just kind of be himself and put some
Oh, a
stuff
lot
in.
of it's ad lib. Yeah, his role was, I'm sure, just put him in the situation and let him do what he needs to do. And there's a lot of talent on display in House Party. Not just, and a lot of people pointed out the dancing, the choreography. I'm not necessarily an expert on that,
Yeah,
but they broke through. Tisha Campbell, Martin, AJ
yeah,
Johnson,
yeah.
Martin Lawrence.
Oh man, you know you've probably heard the story about how Martin Lawrence and Kid and Play, you know how they worked together. They worked at J.C. Penney's together. Um, no, Sears and Roebucks. Sears and Roebucks. That's where they worked at together. Also, along with Salt and Pepper and some other people. And to see them, you know, kind of come back together in a movie like House Party, and like here's years later in their, you know, Martin's just really kind of breaking into film and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, he had been on What's Happening Now before that, and you know, and this is, I think this is around the same time around the same time as Def Comedy Jam. But
yeah,
yeah, he hadn't really done that many movies. He was in Do the Right Thing as one of the fellas, or it's not the fellas. The fellas is from School Days, but he was one of the kids on the block
on the
there.
block. Yeah, yeah, on the block. You know, there's that. Oh, absolutely, man. But you know, I also wanted to just bring up. You know, you mentioned the choreography. You know, Kid and Play. You know, they display in that film the Kid and Play kick step. All right. Now the Kid and Play kick step, you know, there's a lot of history in the Kid and Play kick step because you can go all the way back to the Charleston. You know, you have James P. Johnson, the great pianist. You know, when he passed, he lived over here in Jamaica, Queens, but he had the song The Charleston, and then that move, you know, step forward, 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back, you know, became a craze not only in the nation but all over the world. In hip hop, like it's done with so many things, revives, just like sampling, revives something, puts a different spin and a different twist on it. 2 guys facing one another, kicking feet, and then turn around. And shout out to, there was a girl dance group called BAD. Kim James, Salt's sister, was a part of that. Another group, I can't think of their name, but the main main dancer's name was Hi Hat. And kind of as a committee, they created the Kid and Play kickstep, you know, and Kid and Play took it, you know, and they were a part of the creation of it as well. And they kind of added their nuance to it, but it was kind of done by committee because I was kind of trying to get to the bottom of it one time. And you find that everybody kind of put something in the pot. And here it is in a film being done probably for the first time. Most people outside of the hip hop community is seeing it. And you've had people doing the Kid and Play kickstep, like LeBron James was doing the Kid and Play kickstep in a commercial, like just a few years ago, you know, with someone. So here was that being highlighted. You know, I look at that clip, man, from House Party where they're just showing the whole party. And man, what a shot, just capturing that, because I just really feel that the house party, because we don't see house parties as much today as we did at one point, which makes this film so important, because it's capturing something cultural. It was a cultural norm. You get the DJ in the household, and in the house or apartment, everybody comes there, and that's where the dance floor is, that's where the bar is, everything, it's all in one. The bathroom upstairs, don't break the toilet, and you have all of these things. And at that time, this is pre-social media. So it is pre the whole pretentious thing going on. How social media is like, everything is lifestyle. So they're at these extravagant places that sometimes we can't afford. In these a house party was really just throw on that shirt that is cool, throw on them sneakers that you feel are your cool sneakers, get a haircut, and go. And when you get there, there's no VIP section. There's no bottle service. There's no, velvet rope in the front where you can't get in unless. Nah, this was the community coming together, young people coming together and having a great time. And this really, really captured that.
House parties are nothing new. You can go back to the 40s. I don't know if you saw my mashup with the Cab Calloway short film where they're at a house party, and I'm intercutting it with the Kid and Play.
I didn't see that. I would love that. Was it like the rent? Was it the rent party?
I mash up the music too. So you have Kid and Play dancing to Cab Calloway, and then I flip it so Cab Calloway's dancing to Kid and Play. It's kind of fun. Yeah. But it's not the first house party movie to exist. I mean, you can go back to 1949, and you'll see Pigmeat Markham in a house movie. So
rent parties. Oh man, rent parties, such a big piece of Black history. Can't meet your rent, throw a party, raise the rent. Next month, throw another one. This is full circle, because James P. Johnson, once upon a time in Harlem, the pianist was the DJ, pretty much. The stride piano player, the way you playing the piano in a syncopated way, so much so that it's like a rhythm section. They were saying the three, how they was in the Bronx in the 70s, there was Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa. Well, that trinity in the rent party era in Harlem was James P. Johnson, Willie the Lion Smith, and Fats Waller. If you could get one of those three for your rent party, especially before they really took off, and if you could get one of those three at your rent party, everybody's coming.
Wow. Yeah. So we're talking about history. That's why we're talking to TL Cross, because he deep dives into all this. But we're talking about history, and it's very important, that these movies are in danger of not being preserved anymore, because everything's streaming, people are letting go of their collections and things like that. Very important Criterion collection that you do this one right, because there's so many stories, and there's so many people that are still with us that can participate in the bonus features. Now, we mentioned Robin Harris no longer being with us, unfortunately, and hopefully there's a tribute to Robin Harris, or outtakes maybe even on the disc. I would love to see outtakes on the disc. But we just recently lost Groove from Groove Be Chill, who was also featured in the film. And the feature film house party was written originally for Groove Be Chill. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I am, man. Groove Be Chill, rap group out of Long Island. Even some of the from what I understand, I spoke to Chill, and I spoke to Bilal, and even some of the stories, I think there was a routine they used to do, either a song or a routine they used to do called Dragon Breath, which ultimately found its way, into the movie, but they were calling the DJ Dragon Breath, Nobody heard anybody say dragon breath before that film. Ultimately that became a thing. You started hearing that in all these hip hop songs. Oh, she had the dragon breath. I was going to kick it to the girl and she had the dragon breath. But this is how culture works. It's like, the art is all intertwined into everyday interactions with people and that kind of thing. A house party is smack dab in the middle of that cultural importance.
I don't know, people realize how big Kid and Play was at the time. They had their own cartoon. I don't know. Did they have their own breakfast cereal, TL Cross? I don't know. They were hot.
They had their own comic book.
Yes.
As well. They had their own comic book. So no, you're right. They were huge. Listen, I mentioned the Kid and Play Kickstep, right? Like you can go right now. If they say we're gonna do a throwback party, we're just gonna play all golden era hip hop at some point tonight. 2 people gonna get together and do the Kid and Play Kickstep. I mean, that's just what it is. So that's just how ingrained they are. Just not only in hip hop culture, but in popular culture in general. I mean, and to be honest with you, they came at a time in hip hop where I say this all the time. Anything that happened inside of a barbershop or a beauty salon, hip hop had it. Whether it was, talking about politics, whether it was being a jokester, joking around, having fun, whether it was the ladies' man, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was the roughneck, whatever. I mean, everything that was in the community, hip hop had that. And so there was a major space held for people who were really able to have punchlines and be funny and have that, Biz Markie, may he rest in peace, had that element. Yes. The Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, they had that element, which of course there's some connection there.
Right.
You had Kid and Play. They were, when Slick Rick wanted to be funny, Slick Rick knew how to put some punchlines in there and stuff. And so House Party was really, to me, the first time there had been movies that was about hip hop. It was about the rapper, the DJ. Sometimes it would be somebody playing a rapper or somebody, or it would be like Crush Groove, where you kind of have like the come up of Def Jam, and they're calling it Crush Groove. But right. House Party was really, to me, the first time I really paid attention to 2 known rappers, or a known rapper, or however many known rappers in a film, carrying the whole film, and they're not just playing a rap superstar, like how the other guys kind of did, which was dope when they did it as well. But this felt like this didn't feel like, by the time you get to the end of the movie, it didn't feel like some rappers dabbling in acting. You watched a very, very good film, and right. Shout out to Kid and Play for being that involved and that good in their roles.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost a Trojan horse for hip hop to enter the mainstream. Like you need a safe character, characterization of hip hop, like Kid and Play. And at the time, it was still the golden era, pre-gangster rap. It was not perceived as a threat. Like you said, people could still go to parties and be safe. Yeah. Violence had not taken over quite yet, but and when I think of that, I also think about, what were the other Black images that people were exposed to in a mainstream level. And I automatically gravitate to Cosby, So, I think that part of his genius also was being a safe image for mass consumption.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. And in May, the great Alvin F. Poussaint, rest in peace, who we just lost recently, the Black psychologist and brilliant mind that used to look over the scripts of the Cosby Show and say, well, no, this right here should put Morehouse here or Spelman here or that kind of thing, to just really kind of make things authentic. And so we also have him to thank for partially for the end product, what we ultimately saw and heard said on the show. But man, no, 1,000%. I think Kid and Play, they were great for it. They were great for it. And also shout out to AJ Johnson and Tisha Campbell, because listen, these girls, I thought it was really cool. Another thing that I thought was cool about House Party is they didn't make it. You got the light-skinned friend and the dark-skinned friend. And the dark-skinned friend is going to act like this, and the light-skinned friend is going to act like this. And then we're going to have, they didn't fall into that trap. It really, listen, Groove and Chill said, they saw Shireen, they said, that's the baddest girl in here. That's who they wanted to get with, Shireen. And just to throw a little bit more history, I have an episode about this. Groove and B Chill were a part of Uptown Records at the time. Their label mates was a girl, these girl rappers, female rappers, Finesse and Sinquist. All right. Shout out to Finesse and Sinquist. They had a song called Soul Sisters and some other stuff with the Uptowns kicking it and all of that. Well,
directed by Reggie Hudlin, that video.
Directed by Reggie Hudlin. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's really cool about that is Finesse and Sinquist, their real names are Sydney and Shireen.
Oh wow.
That is their real names. Sydney and
we need you to moderate the audio commentary.
Let's go.
For the speculative Criterion.
I'm ready.
4K Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to get this kind of insight and dedication to research?
Yeah.
So, I'm warning you. Criterion, you got the deep pockets. You probably own this thing. You better do it right.
Let's go.
People be looking at these YouTube videos and saying, wait, they dropped the ball again? I'm
We're
stuck
ready.
with Black Ninja.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get TL to be a part of the Black Ninja documentary. So
let's do that too.
Absolutely. So all right. So here's the ask, right? There's always an ask. Now, this is a conceptual art that AI made. I had nothing to do with this. AI came up with this petition for House Party on 4K.
Okay.
What should be on the disc in your estimation? If you wanted bonus features for a House Party Blu-ray from Criterion, what would you demand?
I would love a director's commentary. That would be cool. I would love some miscellaneous, where somebody like you, what I'm saying, and your trusty sidekick TL Cross for the project. No, okay. But I love what you said about the outtakes, though. In all seriousness, I love outtakes. I love hearing directors talk about, just kind of the ins and outs of what was going through their mind, what may have happened in certain takes that didn't make it on. Listen, deleted scenes, cutting room floor stuff. Why not? If we have some cutting room floor.
Yeah, I'm sure it exists somewhere on VHS. I mean, this is the kind of movie that you do compile a blooper reel for, and you pass it around to the cast and crew later.
Yeah,
so I'm sure it exists. The outtakes.
And so, just knowing that they were going to be in a movie, I was already going to see it just because of Kid and Play. But then when they showed that trailer, man, and Robin Harris was in it on top of that, and then the dude from Do the Right Thing with the lisp, Martin Lawrence is going to be in it, prior to that, what's happening now. It was like, how can you not see this movie? And so we went, and it did not disappoint. Can you imagine what would have happened if House Party was a major disappointment? Like the trajectory of what would have happened in film, in television, as it pertains to hip hop, if it was like, well, we tried this House Party thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it'd just be on the shelf next to Talking Dirty After Dark.
Absolutely.
and tougher than leather.